Still Monday, December 13th. I was doing my notes. And so there's something called a life review therapy. And it's often used with older adults to give them an opportunity to process their life events and from the beginning, and then you work your way through adulthood and older adulthood, and you just kind of explore different themes depending on what they're sharing, and you ask specific questions about certain topics. And so it's similar to narrative therapy, where they're just sharing their story, really. And so I'm doing a note for a client, and just thinking about how it's an older client, much older client, and how she's just like, we just started, and she just kind of goes in it, and I follow where she's leading me, and you know, as she's sharing, you know, I'm being supportive and also helping her see things from a different perspective. So I was thinking about what I had just shared about my mom, and certain things, right? About her and some of the challenges that we've had. And then I thought, well, I haven't shared much about my dad, aside from the fact that he had a lot of health issues, right? And you know, my dad had a really rough childhood. He was born in Mexico and came here at 7. In an unfortunate way, he came here to the US at 7. His mom died, and he was tricked into coming to the US, being told that he was going to live this great life with his father. And he didn't want to leave my grandmother's side, and he saw a lot. My grandmother died of cancer. He saw, you know, her coughing up blood, and he just saw a lot of things, and he was led to believe that he was at fault. He was the youngest at that time of that first union, because his dad had like 3 wives and children from each one. So my extended family on my dad's side is very much, there's a lot of us. And so he came, and he was abused. Physical abuse, emotional abuse, to the extreme. And he left home at a young age because he couldn't deal with it anymore. And he loved his stepmother so much that he, even though he was mistreated, even by her at that time, he stood up to his father when he was physically abusive to her. And he was 16, I think, and he left home at that age, and then he kind of couch hopped all over to find his place since then. And so experiencing all of that, and then growing up at the time that he did in Huntington Park, and this discrimination, and like, he has stories that he can share. And so then he meets my mom in Mexico. And it's one of those things where you meet really quickly. You make certain choices. And then my mom remembers writing letters to him. My mom was in love with him. She loved him. She told me, she's just like, I loved your father so much. And I think that's why the pain is that much, because of what she experienced, loving him so much and then being treated in the way that she did. and he just wanted to keep the family safe. Like, because of his trauma history, like I mentioned before, there's this tendency to control out of fear that anything is going to hurt the family, and so you're just wanting to control. And so there was so much fear and anxiety within him, not realizing it at the time. And so it was playing out in a very controlling manner because of the fear. And I remember I was wearing all white in kindergarten and I got hurt. It was preschool. I got hurt. And then something else happened. Something happened. And that was another story. I'm confusing the stories. But anyways, so he was very controlling. And he was always stressed. And the household, it just felt I was walking on eggshells at all times. But all he wanted to do was keep us safe. It just played out and manifested in a different way. And the smallest little thing would trigger him. And he would snap and he, like, it was very, but he did his best. Like, I know he did his best to do things differently. He exposed us to the things that he never got. He always wanted to do for his family because this was the family he always wanted. So it's just, he did the best that he could. He really did. And so there's so much within both of them, not understanding each other, not understanding the wounds that they both brought into this marriage. Hi, my name is Yubi, and in case you haven't figured it out, this footage is capturing my experience as I learn to navigate my personal spiritual awakening. I am learning that this experience is unique to each one of us. In whatever way we believe we are embracing living our truth, this just happens to be my journey. And despite me having a graduate degree and a license in clinical social work, this by no means is intended to replace any type of mental health advice. This is just me on a personal level, documenting my experience, shedding light on the truth that I am learning and discovering for myself, and really inviting you along for the ride. If by some magical chance you find this content to be helpful in any way, shape, or form, please click the like button, share the message, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have an Instagram account, a personal one, and one specifically for this channel that you're more than welcome to check out. I'm an open book. I have also created t-shirt designs. I'm wearing my favorite one right now, which is the North Node design, but I have that and other things that you can look at inspired by this process and journey, and I have the link in the description box as well as in the about section of my YouTube channel. So you're more than welcome to check those items out. Any type of support is great. Again, if you find this content really helpful or meaningful, sometimes when we take that step and be vulnerable, with showing what's inside our hearts and what's really our truth, we realize that we're much more connected than what we felt we were. And so I hope that as I'm living this experience and that you find some type of truth for yourself, or find some type of ability to heal in some way just by relating, just by knowing that you're not alone. That really has been my goal with this process, not just being able to connect with others, but really for my own healing. It's definitely been a therapeutic experience and a very creative one for myself. So I thank you, and I wish you all the best, and we'll see what else comes next for me.